Here at Rose Go Creole, there isn't just patties and plantains on offer. They're serving a taste of home.
Once you eat the food, that's the first introduction to our community. The love we put in the food, the love we show as people. We show a lot of love to other people, to other nations, and that's how we are.
The restaurant, which opened a little over a year ago, is a sign of Springfield's growing Haitian population. They came here to escape the violence and anarchy in their home country. Most of them are legally authorized to live and work in the U.S. under a program expanded by the Biden administration. Like many blue-collar towns in the Midwest, Springfield's population had been declining for years. Marjorie Kovaleski says Haitians came here because jobs and cheap housing were plentiful. She and her daughter run a small translation and advice center for newcomers in the back room of this Haitian grocery store.
The Haitian community has given new life to the community because they are active participant in the economy. It was a dead economy, and people were leaving Springfield.
But then the numbers rose quickly. Officials estimate there are now anywhere between 12 and 15,000 Haitians in Springfield. They say the city's infrastructure and public services are overwhelmed. In August of 2023, a car driven by a Haitian migrant hit a school bus, killing an 11-year-old boy and prompting even more concern from residents about the growing presence of Haitian migrants.
Whenever anybody raises a concern, it's decried as a racist issue, and I don't see these as race issues. In America, calling somebody a racist silences them.
William Monahan is a former journalist. He helps run a Facebook group where Springfielders share their thoughts about everything from safety, the economy, to rumors of pets disappearing.
Losing homes, losing jobs, just costs going up so high that you can't afford things you used to be able to afford. Maybe now, you have to choose, whether you're going to eat or whether you're going to pay the electric bill. Mostly, above all that, is talking about how our city government ignores our concerns and mocks us and insinuates that our concerns are rooted in some sort of misplaced racial antipathy towards Haitians.
William says he's ambivalent about Trump's claims that Haitian migrants are stealing and eating pets, but at least appreciates that they have drawn national spotlight to an issue he feels has long been ignored. But for the Haitian community, Trump's comments have caused nothing but fear. Marjorie Kovaleski has been getting panicked calls for the past 2 weeks.
It says that we've left Haiti with gang violence, and some of us walked because they went to Nicaragua and walked the entire way. And right now, they don't know what they've done because they're trying to behave themselves, do what's right, and they don't know if one day the white supremacists are going to attack. They don't know if the locals are going to attack them, and especially those with children.
And it's not just the Haitian community that's been affected since Donald Trump's comments. There have been dozens of bomb threats here in Springfield, forcing some schools to evacuate their students. The city has also canceled the annual Culture Fest. Both city and local Haitian community leaders are calling for calm. They want Springfield out of the spotlight and on a path to healing.
My vision for Springfield is that out of this bad thing, there's gonna be some good of it, like more solidarity, more understanding, more communication.
And as they sit, signs that the healing may have already begun. A local farmer and her mother come in to give a basket of their produce.
Springfield is Field of Springs. We have lots of water and beautiful woodland. It's a generous, gentle place, and I'm an extension of that land, and I want to offer that to the people who are coming.
At Rose Go Creole, the debacle has had an unexpected twist. People are flocking to the restaurant to show their support.
I guess it was busy today. Normally I'm the only person sitting in here, like me and 3 other people.
This couple from Arkansas came here to send a message.
We're supporting this community today, but next week it could be a different community, targeted just for political gain and political division.
And DW Special Correspondent Aya Ibrahim filed that report you just saw. She joins us now from Washington, D.C. Aya, tell us, how have local authorities and residents been reacting to this really sudden, intense focus on their city following Trump's comments?
Well, as you may notice, Jared, we were not able to interview any city or state officials for that piece. We certainly tried, but they got back to us saying that because of the volume of attention, they would be unable to accommodate our request for an interview. They've just been bombarded by press, and not just press. I mean, this has really, as we tried to show, thrust a small Midwestern town into the national and to a very large extent international spotlight, bringing all sort of security concerns to the fore. And so city officials have been very, very busy. Just the amount of bomb threats that they've had to deal with over the past 2 weeks can overwhelm any well-functioning city hall in any city, of this size in the United States. But in terms of the response of the officials, city officials, state officials, the governor have repeatedly said that the claims made by the former president are baseless and that there's no evidence for them, saying that they hurt their community and that they have indeed brought unwanted attention. But from my reporting, speaking to some locals of Springfield, they really don't care what their officials say, and they some of them still certainly believe, despite these statements and despite there being no evidence of pets being kidnapped and eaten by migrants, that migrants are doing so. So it's oftentimes walking through this town, there are different realities living in close proximity, side by side, and it's a sort of a microcosm of the polarization that can be seen in so many parts of American society ahead of this election.
Yeah, indeed. Let's talk a bit more about Springfield. It's got, as I understand it, around 58,000 residents. Within a short period, the Haitian community has grown substantially. City officials have said that has caused some problems. What kind of problems do they mean?
And just to give a tiny bit of detail, a short period is a period of about 3 years, with a population increase of about, anywhere between 20 to 25%. And so it can, and city officials have admitted that it has overwhelmed their infrastructure. It's not something that they are denying. We're talking about everything from schools to hospitals to fire services and police services. Translation services are a massive issue. A lot of the migrants coming, don't yet speak fluent English or are not able to navigate, the bureaucracy themselves, and so the city and the state have to spend money to provide translators for them, because these migrants, as we mentioned, unlike what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance keep saying, are mostly in the country legally under a temporary protection status. At the same time, and this is something that I've heard from locals, is that Springfield, in a way, needed people, needed migrants, needed new life, because it was a city on the decline. But what they say is, and that is also something that I've heard from longstanding members of the Haitian community, is that they, as a city, have reached their limit.
Springfield isn't the only town affected by structural decline and immigration in the US. How important are places like these if we look at the upcoming election?
So Ohio, the state that Springfield is in, is no longer a swing state. These handful of states that could really sway the result of the national election. However, what we have seen play out in this tiny kind of small city in the Midwest has, it's sort of like a postcard or an indication of so many debates around immigrations that are happening across the country, and I think to a certain extent happening across the world. Even in Germany, there are discussions happening on, whether or not the country is at capacity when it comes to taking in migrants, and what kind of skills or what kind of contribution these migrants need to be making. So, even though it's a small town, 60,000 people, while it might not have an electoral impact, things that are happening there are having huge implications on how this is being talked about on the national level. Former President Donald Trump has vowed, has promised that he will visit Springfield in the next 2 weeks. Just imagine the kind of attention and security strain that would bring on the city already sort of overwhelmed. I mean, both the mayor and the governor of Springfield, the mayor of Springfield and the governor of the state of Ohio are Republicans, and they both seemed quite hesitant about receiving the president, fearing the strain. And, this has just really overwhelmed not just officials, but also locals. They're just not used to that kind of attention.
DW Special Correspondent Aya Ibrahim in Washington, D.C. Aya, thanks a lot for your reporting.